Hi everybody, happy Groundhog Day. It's Kate from KatyDid, and today is my birthday. That's right, I was born on Groundhog Day. And as a celebration, I am going to show you some really cool tumbled rocks. I hope you enjoy them.
So many beautiful rocks. That's a nice thing to find on my way out.
I had a ton of petrified wood in this batch, and it always turns out so beautifully. One problem is that sometimes the petrified wood does have some of these seams in it. This is kind of the rough stuff, and that doesn't necessarily polish well, and you have to be really careful about cleaning it out when it's being polished. But I'm willing to put up with it. Ooh, shiny, shiny, shiny. Montana agates are made of Chalcedony, and that has a Mohs hardness of 7, so it is just really quite hard and polishes great. But it doesn't always have to have the agate to make a nice polished rock. This one is probably just a piece of chert, and it just shined up so nice. Here's another piece of petrified wood. Look at that, it's got a little bit of agate stuff going on in the end. Oh yeah, I just love the grain on that one. That's so pretty. Oh yeah, petrified wood. I tried some kind of different stones in this particular batch just to see how they would work. This one is just a piece of quartzite, which I would have thought would be pretty easy to polish. And you can see it did take some of a shine, but it's quite a lot softer than the agate and the petrified wood that we've been tumbling. So the shine is just kind of a satiny finish instead of really, really glassy. It's pretty though, it feels nice in your hand. One thing that I've been seeing on Etsy are these things called palm stones, where you just have a stone that goes in your hand and you hold it and it feels nice. And mostly they're cut to oval shapes and polished, but I think that this one could be a palm stone just because it feels really nice to hold and it's very pretty. This is a Louisiana agate from Gravel Bar Hopper. You should check out his channel if you haven't. He's got find some really, really sweet agates. And this one he sent to me last year, and it's been kind of hanging around waiting for me to do something with it. And it tumbles beautifully. I do need to clean out some of these little jagged pieces here so that some of this is actually probably borax stuck in there that just didn't dissolve. But anyway, I do love how pretty it is. This one, holy moly, look at how glassy that is. It's just kind of amazing, isn't it, that could polish that beautifully when it just is a kind of boring old piece of petrified wood. It kind of sits nicely, kind of not. Occasionally I'll throw little chunks of slab into the tumbler, and you can see here it broke at some point during the tumble. Not at the very last part though, because you can see it's also been worn down a little bit. I'm not really even sure what this piece is. I thought for a while it was an agate, but then as I cleaned it off and kind of tumbled it, and it's hard enough to be an agate, but it's just not quite the right color. So I'm not sure what it is except for pretty. I like that. Look at that streak down the top. Isn't that neat? This, on the other hand, this is a very glassy piece of Chalcedony. We would call this an agate in Montana just for shorthand, but it doesn't technically have any of the dendrites or bands or ribbons or anything like that that would classify it as an agate. So technically it's probably just Chalcedony, but whatever it is, it sure is pretty. This is another piece of random Jasper chert something or other that is super, super hard, but not at all translucent. And I just kind of like the way it polished up on some parts, and the other parts are kind of still a little bit rough. And so it still looks really much like a rock, but it's got some nice shine to it. Speaking of chert, this is one of my favorite pieces, not because it's so impressive or anything, but it's just so soft, and it has this really nice kind of earth tone color to it, and it polished up. It didn't polish to a glass shine. You can see that it's sort of satiny, but boy is it smooth. Speaking of glassy, check that out. Huh. It's just amazing to me. Now you can see that there's the rough parts on the back that didn't get polished. This one's a really neat piece of banded chert. It's like whoosh. I love the shape of it, and it just is so pretty all the way around. Look at that. It's almost like tiger stripes. This is just plain old banded chert. Tumbles like just gorgeous. You see how glassy that is? Here's one that I like to call green rock. Look, it's got lots of different shades of green. It's probably Jasper chert something. I don't really know exactly what it is, but look, it's got kind of blue stripes and green. What beautiful colors. Wow. This is a big chunk of Jasper. I have a 20-pound tumbler that I put the bigger rocks in and just kind of break them down so that they're smooth around the edges. It's a rotary tumbler, and I only use it for the grinding part because I found that I have a really hard time getting this kind of shine from a rotary tumbler. So I have a couple vibratory tumblers that I use for the final polishes. So the final 3 steps actually. And it seems to be a pretty good system. When I was trying to do it with just a rotary tumbler, I was very frustrated, but this seems to work pretty well. I think another thing I like about these little pieces of petrified wood is how varied they are. I mean, yeah, they're all brown, they're all kind of wood looking, but there's just so much texture and grain difference on all of them that I just enjoy them immensely. Here's a fun little piece of agate that polished up kind of interesting. It seems to have layers on it, although I wouldn't necessarily call it exactly a waterline. Well, maybe it is. Maybe it is. Yeah, I think it is because it's got these layers here. The layers are sort of uneven in some places, which is why I said that it maybe wasn't. You see, like that, this is not normal for a waterline agate. It would normally have totally straight lines because water settles in flat lines. But anyway, it's pretty, and it has this almost looking like the edges of an ocean wave there. It's my ocean wave stone. Isn't that pretty? They seem to have grabbed rather a lot of petrified wood for this video. Isn't that pretty? So neat. Now this one is not quite as mirror finish polished, but it might actually not be the wood. It might actually have been user error on that. I still like it. I like it satiny like that. It's nice. This is a piece of Jasper that has colored bands in it. Very pretty. Some more Montana agate. This one actually has some inclusions in it, so I'll be comfortable calling it an agate. Look at how smooth and glassy it is on the back there. Boy, that feels nice. I think, although I'm not absolutely positive, that this is a piece of epidote, and it sure polished nicely. believe it or not, this is a piece of petrified wood. It's a slab. Jim found this one, I think, and it's a slab that has veins of Chalcedony running right through it. So it's a very, very special piece. Really pretty. I'm not really sure what this is. If I just saw it, I'd think it was a piece of red granite or something, but granite doesn't really tumble very well, I'm told. And this one took quite a nice polish. So if anybody knows what it is, let me know. Then we'll both know. Speaking of stones that I'm not sure what they are, this one is so soft, smooth, not super glassy, but boy, it's pretty. It's a very subtle pretty. It's not in your face. And it feels really nice to hold. We'll do some of these smalls all together. Green rock, not sure what. Looks like a piece of agate, some jasper, more jasper, and a very, very beautiful piece of clear chalcedony. Look at the grains in this one. Isn't that just so pretty? This one was kind of a pain because of all this rough stuff here and this rough stuff on the end. It ended up I had to scrub it quite well every single time I polished it. So every time I changed the grit, I had to use a toothbrush and a scrub brush. Still didn't end up getting all of it, I think, but close enough. Here's a shiny, shiny, pretty one. Again, not really sure what this is. I would guess some kind of jasper mix, but you know, the quartz in jasper that I often collect doesn't have the little speckly things in it. It's usually more solid quartz and jasper mixed together. But whatever this is, it takes a beautiful polish. This one is a softer stone, and it turns out nice and smooth, but not super, super shiny. And last, but definitely not least, I've been saving this piece of petrified wood because I tumbled the whole end piece, and look at that. And this is just absolutely stunning. Looks like some kind of an abstract painting of a rainstorm washing over the mountains. And it's very shiny.
Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. This is Kate from KatyDid. Keep on doing.